Hello and welcome to the latest edition of A Mugful of Marketing, your regular dose of brews and views from across the world of marketing. We're Barnaby and James from 199, a marketing agency in Leeds, and this week on the podcast we're going to be looking at some new features from across all the different social platforms, including...
We've got Spotify countdown pages, there's new profile curation features available on Instagram that we'll go into, Downvotes on X, clear mode reels on Facebook. There's a new add yours sticker on YouTube Shorts, and then finally custom thumbnails on TikTok.
Great. Okay, so first up today, we've got the new Spotify countdown pages. Tell us about those.
Yeah, it's a centralised place to announce your release. It's going to form a really important part for musicians out there in the pre-release stage of the campaign. Pre-saving releases isn't new. It's traditionally had to be done via third-party platforms, which seems a little bit mad that it's been around for a long time. Also been a really key metric in playlisting and indicating to Spotify the hype around a track. And now, finally, you can actually do it within Spotify from Spotify for Artists. It's going to be a countdown that centralizes all of the release track list information. You'll be able to have merch attached to it.
We have to preview some tracks as well.
If there's a single that's already out as part of the campaign, that'll be pulled in there. So we like it. I think it's really cool. It's also going to be visible on the artist profile page. So if you've got a artist account that gets quite a lot of traffic, your release is going to be there visible before it's out, which is huge, just for that real momentum when the release drops. And then on top of that, you get the push notification for everyone that signs up.
Yeah, because that's really important, isn't it? Because I think we saw some stats and we were talking about them before we started this. About 80% of people who pre-save an album will go on to listen to it.
In that first week as well, I think it was. And that first week is really, really important. It's always been really important in the world of music in terms of chart position and everything else. And in a world of Spotify playlists, metrics like that really, really help early on in a release to then give it the momentum to go on and be playlisted in other editorial playlists.
So this is big news, really.
It is for musicians. This is it's a really big new cog in marketing. It's not really a new cog; it's just a new.
They brought it in-house rather than you having to use
in-house pre-save functionality.
Because what was the name of the? There was a third-party service.
There's been quite a few over the years. There's one that's quite popular at the moment called Lalo. That's more of a wider marketing platform for data within music and engaging with your fans.
Okay,
so
do you still need them?
I think so.
Okay.
It's important to still be able to centralise everything because your release needs to live in places beyond just Spotify. But what this does do is it creates something within Spotify's own ecosystem that tells the whole story of the release, gives fans access to like clips as well. I don't think I mentioned before, but if you had a clip from a music video that's connected to the album, maybe it's a tour promo thing, that could all go on this specific area around the release.
So great for building some hype around it and for getting people to engage with new music before it's even released.
It's just really nice to see useful tools rolled out that people have been crying out for a long time. So it's great to see. More of that, please.
So have we got any kind of general advice for using this new feature?
Well, get your music distributed early. I think is fair. Now, whether that's you distributing it yourself to Spotify or whether that's via a distributor that you work with, it's really, really important to make sure that your music gets sent out early before releases. Still far too many people are sending masters to DSPs the week of release, and it's just not long enough. Not if you want to actually be taken seriously for playlists or or now take advantage of features like this.
Yeah.
So if you really want some visibility on your album or EP or whatever it is, you've got to get your act together.
Are we telling the music industry to get organised?
Unfortunately, yes. Which, we'll see if it falls on deaf ears, but please just get your shit together.
Great. Okay, I think that's probably covered that. We like it,
Yeah,
essentially.
we like it. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up to that one. Now, there's some new features on Instagram, some new sort of curation features coming.
Yeah, it's post quietly to profile.
What does that mean?
It just means that you can put a post out and then not go into the feed.
Okay.
Why, you may ask?
Yes.
In a world driven by engagement, it's about aesthetic curation, and it's about populating profiles so that they have all of the information on there that you might need for your business or brand. It's also potentially so people can do these styled campaign type profiles, which they were really popular a few years ago, which I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with them, because you can do really cool things. We've done things in the past with like timelines designed out over the profile and all kinds of stuff, but it requires a lot of organization. And when you're doing a row of 3 photos that paint a picture on a profile, and all 3 of those posts are going out to your followers, I can see why things like this are really useful.
Okay, so it allows you to sort of tinker behind the scenes rather than put everything out there to the world.
I think the benefit of it is if you've just launched a new profile, maybe you've already got followers that are on there because you haven't quite got around to getting your content scheduled together, and you don't want to spam them all, but you do want things like your products visible. You maybe want some FAQ things up there. There's the things that you could pin and keep up there that are always going to be more evergreen.
Yeah.
This lets you do that without annoying them and losing very valuable followers.
Yeah, so without spamming them, and also potential content that wouldn't do that well, but that adds value to your profile.
But needs visibility. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So we've seen this before on other sort of platforms, haven't we, as well?
Yeah. Tumblr? I think they used to be able to do that. I mean, that's rolling back the years a little bit for me now, but that had a big curation element to it. So yeah, it's a little bit reminiscent of that, but
okay. So talking about features that have been on other platforms before.
Well, that's what we do a lot of our time on this podcast,
isn't it? Downvotes on X.
Yeah. So if anyone's been on Reddit before, they'll be familiar with a good old-fashioned downvote of a comment and a thread. I think it's used quite well on Reddit by the community. On X, I'm interested to see how it goes down. Will it stir the pot of polarization or
even further? I guess that's the biggest risk, isn't it? Is that it's already now a very polarized platform.
We should probably say what this will actually involve for any people who haven't been on Reddit. First of all, actually, it's not an up or down vote of a post or a tweet that you've put out. It's actually within the comments thread attached to a tweet. Those comments will then have the ability to be downvoted or liked, which, from what we've gathered, will then rank the comments according to popularity. Essentially.
So to steelman the idea. There is a lot of spam on Twitter, especially in the comments section, of people posting unrelated AI accounts posting unrelated content based on probably keywords.
Yes.
And you'll be able to immediately downvote them, and hopefully that will...
Well, the community can self-police it.
Yeah.
People will get annoyed by random bot or crypto bro posts and stuff that appear on comments threads and, blight the interaction for everyone and downvote them to the bottom.
On the other hand, you've got the fact that there's now a bit more of a kind of ideological bias to X. Like previously, pre-Elon, it was a bit more progressive. Now you'd say it was definitely more conservative. Are you just going to get is it going to affect the quality of conversation on there? I mean,
I think any mechanism that encourages binary thinking is naturally going to move away from having the
organic
nuance to a conversation that you need to actually have sentiment. So is it going to polarize things more? I imagine it will. I just by the very nature of, you can either like something or downvote it. There's no grey in that, is there?
No. The interesting thing is, though, whilst it's going to affect we assume anyway, the ranking of comments, so what you see first in terms of comments, it's not going to affect the wider algorithm. So because it's not on the initial posts.
Your post won't suffer from it, from any kind of activity that's happening within that comment.
So if you put a very unpopular comment on someone's, it's not going to impact the reach of your own post.
So there will be some protection to stop people deliberately going fishing.
Nerfing people's accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see how that gets rolled out. Next, we have clear mode reels on Facebook.
Yeah, so it's a new feature where you'll just be able to scroll through Facebook Reels, but without any of the UI elements visible. So it's a cleaner, just video only experience.
Yeah,
which I like the idea of on paper. The only thing is, it will impact how content is created, because at the moment we've got very accustomed to the narrative of content. And the overall message of it being told through the medium of the video, and also the supporting comments that go with it.
Yeah,
you can get clever with how the combination of those things work together, how they create engagement, and how they actually get the point across.
But if this takes off, you're going to have to get it all in the video itself.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So
how? Because I know TikTok's got a similar feature. Has that taken off?
I actually don't know what the percentages are of that, so I'm not sure.
Oh well, we'll watch this space and see what happens with it.
Yeah.
Moving over to YouTube, some new Add Yours stickers for Shorts.
Well, it's another episode where we're talking about a feature taken from somewhere else, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no prizes for originality in social media functionality development anymore. Add Yours stickers. Anyone that's been on Instagram recently will have seen plenty of them in stories. Yep. They're really fun, they're really engaging, and people actually get quite creative with how they're used. And I really like, they feel social.
And they're encouraging proper engagement and sharing, community building.
They move
on topics.
They move creators away from just broadcasting and do kind of, I don't know, it just feels a bit more like you're part of a wider conversation, which is really, really important on social media for me. So YouTube Shorts are then getting on the bandwagon. They'll be available there, where you can, it's just exactly the same. Just add your video to it, a thread
of other similar videos based on a theme decided by the original poster.
Exactly. There's an argument that why not? It's been tested on Instagram and worked well, and everyone else steals content from each other. So well, it's just part of their aim is just to make the platform more engaging. It's working on other platforms, so they're just taking cues from Instagram, I guess.
Talking about platforms, taking cues from other platforms, our final piece of news this week, we've got custom thumbnails on TikTok. This sounds like a fairly basic piece of functionality.
It does, doesn't it? I think you would have assumed it's been available for a while, and I imagine there's some very good reasons it hasn't. But yeah, you'll be able to upload custom static thumbnails on your TikTok.
I mean, when LinkedIn already has a feature, you're pretty much
behind the times. Sure. Yeah. So what does that actually mean culturally when you do that? I guess you have increased risk that people can put thumbnails that actually aren't connected to what the video's about.
Yep.
You get a culture where there's a lot more clickbait.
I mean, but every YouTube video is already doing it.
But then people are always they've been clickbaity for a long time on TikTok. It's just that it's been done in a way that's all been designed within the app of text overlays and stuff, which has kind of kept an organic feel to it. So
so it's going to look a lot more designed.
It's going to look like the right hand part of a YouTube preview, isn't it? I think.
I mean, I guess the kind of benefit is that it might allow other forms of content that aren't so initially visually appealing within the
Give them a
video
chance to be
gives
seen.
them a chance to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. I would argue that it just favours people that can think about hooks.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I guess that's our message then, is think about the hooks.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably it for this week. Yeah, thanks for joining us on Mugful of Marketing, and come back next time for more regular dose of brews and views from across the world of marketing.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe. We really appreciate it. Leave us a comment, rating, whatever you want to do on whatever platform. 5 stars, please. See you next time.
Cheers. Bye.